I want to talk about that game against Michigan, 92-87 on Sunday. Certainly had the feel of an NC2A tournament game. Not only an NC2A tournament game, but like a second weekend game, or even a Final Four type of game. It was tremendous. And I, like everybody else out there, I watched it from home. I watched it on TV. Griffin Strome was there for us for Buckeye Grove covering it. I've really put the basketball coverage in their hands this season between himself, Jacob Binge, and Marcus Horton, and they've done a fantastic job. So I had the opportunity to watch it like everybody else from my sofa. Maybe had a cold beer in hand, maybe didn't. That's not important at this point, but very different perspective than watching it from the shot. And honestly, Ohio State played Michigan slug for slug almost the entire game. And I really, I don't want to focus on one play or another as being the turning point, but I'm going to focus on one play, and that was the ill-advised attempt of a pass by Justice Suing, getting a little too fancy, going behind his back, racing down the court, committing the and one foul. Really ends up being a 5-point swing in a game that Ohio State loses by 5. It really was a game where you just couldn't break serve. And service got broken there, and Ohio State wasn't able to recover. And it was one of those games to where if you look at the scorebook, all of Ohio State's points came from 3 guys, with Dwayne having 30, EJ having 23, and CJ having 15. So with my handy-dandy Ohio State math education there, that's 53, carry the 1, cosine of pi, 53, 63, 68 of 87 points came from those 3 players. You have, no points from Justin Ahrens, a starter. They were all over him like, stink on what. He had, never had really a clean shot in that game. Justice Suing had 6 points. Kyle Young had 5 points. So from 3 starters, you get a combined 11 points. That's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but Liddell, Washington, and Walker all played well enough to carry the Buckeyes, and they just came up a little short. Now, a lot of people have been really concerned, like, well, that we've seen this team's ceiling. No, we've not seen their ceiling. Michigan is who Michigan is, but is Michigan going to come out and shoot as well as it did from 3? They had a lot of shooters that were coming in a little on the cold side. And yes, Ohio State seems to bring out the best in opponents when it comes to their outside shooting. And I'm not going to say it's because Ohio State invites it, but, this Ohio State team is so much further along in terms of its offense than its defense. Kind of 180 from some previous Ohio State teams where the defense was a little bit ahead, or a good bit ahead of the offense. So, I mean, you look at the game and, Hunter Dickinson, he's 8 of 14, just a monster down low. Ohio State really doesn't have an answer for him, but you go and you look from outside the arc, and, Chauncey Brown is 3 of 4, Eli Brooks is 3 of 4. Those were some killers right there. Those 2 guys being able, Eli being a starter, Brown coming off of the bench, them coming in and going 6 of 8 from 3, I think was another one of those differences in terms of the game. But, that game is over and done with, and if all things go well, Ohio State should have another crack at Michigan, at least in the Big Ten tournament, coming up here in a couple of weeks.